Tonight on NewsWatch 12 at 6, Senate Bill 1098 wreaking havoc in the chamber, how the bill restricts book bans in Oregon, and what representatives have to say about it. And the Eugene Emeralds officially announcing this is their final season in the Emerald Valley today. The Rogue Valley could be their next home.
And the next storm system set to arrive tomorrow. Rain, higher elevation snow, and some strong winds all in the mix. I'll have the details coming up.
Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 at 6.
Local Representative Dwayne Yunker is in some hot water in the Oregon House after reading a passage of a book with sexual nature. Representative Yunker saying profanity on the House floor. He did this in opposition of a bill that would restrict book bans. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Haley Gravitt. Rocky Walker is live in studio with more on the possible book ban and the bill itself. Rocky.
Haley, this book that's right behind me, The Haters, it has sparked a lot of contention in Josephine County, with a passage being read at a recent school board meeting trying to ban it. And Dwayne Yunker reading that very passage in the House to oppose Senate Bill 1098.
She guided me on my back and pulled on the bottom of my briefs. I pushed them over my knees and feet and was completely naked.
This was just a part of Yunker's presentation to the Oregon House, getting cut off and objected by fellow House members for being sexual and full of profanity.
I think the representative's presentation is lascivious and obscene, and I object to it.
But why did he do it?
Just this morning, Senate Education Committee, the committee voted to pass the bills along with party lines to advance Senate Bill 1098, which would make it against the law to remove porn-like materials from school libraries. This is madness.
Senate Bill 1098 prohibits the banning of books based on discrimination. Supporters say it doesn't stop book bans based on appropriateness, but stops them if they're based on shutting out topics or perspectives of those in marginalized communities.
SB 1098 will not prevent them from doing book ban challenges. Those will remain intact. Schools will still be able to make those decisions, and those processes are there. This is explicitly, simply put, regarding discrimination.
Supporters say this isn't forcing what parents or communities deem as inappropriate into schools. Instead, it's stopping censorship of marginalized groups.
That's the key element, is trying to make sure that books are not discriminated against because it's a book written by a Black author or has an LGBTQ person involved in the book.
But Yunker says the bill just creates barriers for book bans.
I think that's just a way to say, hey, well, you can't challenge these books because of someone's skin color, their minority status that someone wants to put out, because this is appropriate. And I would challenge it and say, well, what has that got to do with the book?
Now, this book that the passage was read from, The Haters, it was being reviewed by the Three Rivers School District. Yunker told the House Monday that the district did not decide to ban it. And Senate Bill 1098, it passed the Senate Education Board yesterday, moving forward to the floor. Reporting in studio, I'm Rocky Walker.
Rocky, thank you. New at 6 tonight, House and Senate Republicans announced legislation to repeal the statewide wildfire hazard map. House Bill 3944 was announced today. It aims to require state agencies to refocus their wildfire efforts. This comes after community members have raised some concerns with the map's flaws and its potential consequences on insurance. Let's check in with Storm Tracker 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman tonight to give us a better look at our conditions. Matt.
Pretty quiet out there, Haley. We're getting a bit of a break in the action. Take a live look across our NewsWatch 12 weather cam network. Currently 53 degrees in Medford. It's 50 in Gold Beach. Generally partly cloudy skies, and that's the way it'll stay for the most part tonight. Take a look up at Crater Lake. This is Annie Springs entrance to Crater Lake. 168 inches for the snow depth. We've seen a little bit of melting and compacting from yesterday. yesterday, getting up to 174 inches. Good news, Highway 62 East is back open for travel, but Highway 62 West in Crater Lake National Park and the road to Rim Village remains closed as crews continue to dig out. Earlier today, we did see those Cascade passes. Highway 230, 138 open back up earlier today. That was some good news, but more snow is on the way later tomorrow into Thursday. Winter weather advisories posted up and down the Cascades, the Siskiyous, into portions of western Siskiyou County, mainly above 5,000 feet. Out there this evening into tonight, a few showers still lingering, but they are melting away. We're going to be dry overall tonight. Partly cloudy skies, down to about 34 in Medford and Grants Pass, 26 degrees in Klamath Falls. Tomorrow, mainly dry weather through the morning, even into early afternoon, especially for inland areas. But as we go through the afternoon, rain, higher elevation snow pushes back in. Some of it could be a bit moderate to heavy, and we will see travel impacts above 4,000 feet into tomorrow evening. Winds crank up, though, through the morning hours as the storm system approaches. Some pretty strong gusts for the coast and Shasta Valley, where high wind warnings have been issued. We'll talk more about the winds, the rain, and the snow, and details on precipitation amounts all coming up in just a bit. Haley?
Matt, thank you. Speaking of snow, some good news for skiers and snowboarders. Mount Ashland is extending their 2024-2025 season with 2 bonus weekends in April. They will remain open until April 19th and 20th, and then April 26th and 27th. The ski area has seen a record-breaking 295 inches of snow for the season thus far. The ski area expects excellent conditions through the end of March. The Calmer, Windsor, and aerial chairlifts will run from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at a discounted rate during those weekends. And this morning, Watch Duty users got notifications for more than 15 40-acre fires across Washington and Oregon. These fires were reported due to a technical issue with the National Interagency Fire Center. There are no active fires. NewsWatch 12 reached out to Watch Duty, who said their team is investigating the issue to prevent any similar issues from happening this summer. And this week, Lomacotzi Project is going to be doing controlled burns across the Rogue Valley. This is going to be in parts of the West Bear All Lands Restoration Project near the cities of Talent, Jacksonville, and in the Jacksonville Woodlands. So if you want to get text notifications on the controlled burns, text RFP update to the number seen here on your screen. These texting updates will give you information on burns across the Rogue Valley controlled by organizations including Lomacotzi and Rogue Forest Partners. Jacksonville City Councilor Andrea Lerner Thompson said that this week we will see a lot of smoke in Jacksonville as Lomacotzi has received clearance to do brush pile burning in several locales in and around Jacksonville. While no one likes to see smoke, please keep in mind that everything we burn under control is less fuel to burn in the event of a wildfire. And right now, a survey is open for the city of Jacksonville. They want your feedback on how to improve North 3rd Street. The city wants to know your thoughts on a car-free plaza and what to do with some flexible space between the U.S. Hotel and the fire station. And we're continuing coverage today. The Eugene Emeralds are announcing that the 2025 season in the Emerald Valley will be its last. The minor league baseball team now looking for a new home, and Medford is on its short list. Back in February, we told you how the Emeralds were preparing a presentation to give to the city of Medford at a Parks and Recreation meeting. We spoke with Emeralds general manager ahead of that presentation. He said making Medford home would rely on community support.
We want to make sure that this is something that the community really wants, and we want their buy-in because if we come there, we're going all in.
NewsWatch 12 reached out to the Eugene Emeralds after their announcement today. Benavides telling us, quote, "We've spoken with 2 other communities, but Medford stands out as our top choice. Our conversations in Medford have been highly productive, and the support for the project has been overwhelmingly positive." He also says that it's very early in the process and it is a long and complex journey. We'll, of course, keep you updated and follow that story closely for you. Now, the federal deadline to get a Real ID is getting closer. Today, the Oregon DMV telling us that not everyone will need a Real ID, but if you do plan on flying this summer, you should schedule an appointment now. Tim Quintadamo tells us what we need to know.
People that are going to be flying May 7th or immediately after, those are the ones that we're concerned with making sure that they have the information so that they don't get to the airport and are surprised when they find out, oh shoot, I didn't get my Real ID.
The federal deadline for a Real ID is May 7th. That means anyone who doesn't have a passport will need to get a Real ID before flying domestic.
Your standard driver's license will continue to operate the same as it has. You can drive, you can cash a check, you can get your ID checked. This only is for people flying on a commercial federally regulated aircraft. Also, it's for people 18 years and older, so you don't have to worry about getting a Real ID for your children either.
Crabb says DMV offices are seeing nearly double the volume for Real ID appointments in recent weeks ahead of the upcoming deadline.
It does take up to 3 weeks to get your hard license in the mail, so you want to build that 3-week timeline in to your plans for when you're getting your card.
You can find a link to schedule an appointment and a checklist or documents that you'll need on our website. You can also grab an appointment number in person at your local DMV and ask them to send you a text message when your appointment is coming up.
And OnTrack has released its 2024 recap. Last year was their most successful year, having over 2,400 people engage in addiction treatment. 139 people were able to transition from being homeless to treatments. 152 parents received residential treatment through the Mom and Dad's program. That program helped keep 96 children with their parents through the treatment process. OnTrack was able to add 10 emergency beds, contribute to Jackson County's deflection program, launch 2 housing units for family recovery, purchase Siskiyou Motel that could provide 12 emergency housing beds by this summer. Still to come tonight, measles cases are continuing to climb as vaccination rates are tumbling worldwide. What's concerning health officials in this measles outbreak? That's coming up.
And we are tracking the return of wet weather as we go through the day tomorrow. Rain and higher elevation snow, pretty gusty winds expected as well as this next storm system rolls on in. I'll have more details on timing and rain and snow amounts coming up. First though, let's take a live look right now. Beautiful shot of Mount Shasta to end out this Tuesday. This view from the Mount Shasta Resort. You're watching NewsWatch 12 at 6.